And believe it or not, Mick Foley is actually in the ring as Dude Love. When Austin finally hit that first stunner on WWF management, of course, it was Jim Ross. I'm sure seeing Dude Love in the ring and Austin stunning JR, boy, you had fun with that then, now, forever.
It's always fun to stun somebody that is an authority figure.
And how about the infamous Madison Square Garden moment? Cactus Jack finally makes his WWF debut. It's going to be in a Falls Count Anywhere match against Triple H. But the reaction to Jack coming on screen is one of the bigger ones. This is something you guys spent a lot of time with on the Titantron. We would see Dude Love having a conversation with Mankind, and all of a sudden, they introduced Cactus Jack. How proud of you, or how proud were you of the production and just the delivery of this? I mean, this was a major moment for Mick, for Triple H, for the WWE, really.
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it because this one was a labor of love. This one was the point where you have someone interviewing themselves and is someone else. And then, but wait, there's somebody else that lives in here too. And you bring out the one that's never supposed to really come out of that deep dark recesses of your mind, and that was Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack was the last resort because he was the most dangerous. He was the one that was not controllable. And here he was, live and in the flesh.
We know that it's a special match. Foley gets the win with a pile driver through a table. The legend of Cactus Jack in the WWF is born. And we're going to stop it right there because there's so much more that we need to talk about Mick Foley. And, well, we'd have like a 30-hour show if we covered his entire career here. Let's do a few questions. SH4037 over on YouTube, which you can be a part of. All things Bruce Prichard are at somethingtowrestle.com. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and we'll go live sooner rather than later. But SH4037 wants to know, which rivalry do you think had the biggest impact? Foley with Taker, with Orton, or with Hunter? I mean, he had some great matches with all three, some great stories with all three. Which one do you think is your favorite of all?
I think Undertaker, because Undertaker put Mankind on the map. If the Undertaker, the first program with Undertaker had failed and not done as well as it did, there wouldn't have been a Randy Orton or a Hunter.
Edman1820 says, Mick has recently announced that he canceled his plans for one final match. What are your thoughts on that decision or why he thought it was a good idea in the first place?
So he's not doing one last match.
He's not.
Thank God. I think that's a smart move. I think that, I don't know what it is about this business. Everybody thinks they've got one more match. And there have been people that have had these incredible send-offs only to completely, crap all over them by going in and having one more match years later. The audience, and this is my opinion, the audience wants to remember their favorites as they were. And they want to see them go out on top up here and is best. Usually when you're going out, you're not what you were when you were younger. But hopefully you're at a point where you're comfortable going out, you still have something left in the tank, and you go out. But when you come back 10, 15, 20 years later, whatever the hell it may be, and you do one more match, and people look at you and they feel sad. And I don't think that that's how I know that's not how most want to be remembered. They want you to remember them in their prime. So you take that away from the audience when you come out and you're not in the shape that you were 20 years ago and you can't do the things that you used to do. So I'm happy that Mick has decided against it because Mick Foley, at whatever age he is now, he can't do the things he used to do 20 years ago. Can't do the things that he used to do 5 years ago, probably. And I think he's been retired longer than that, but you get the point. It's a disappointment to see guys come back out and do, well, I got one more left in me. And they see him and they go, ugh. Let him remember what it was. Go ahead, and it's okay to ride off into the sunset. Still be around doing something else, but not trying to relive your glory days of being in the ring and doing all the things that you used to do, because by God, Father Time don't do no jobs.
Undefeated. We had a lot of fun today talking about Mick Foley. We're going to keep it going. In the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about Bad Blood 2004. It had a Hell in a Cell match with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit. We would also see Kane in there with Chris Benoit. We got Edge and Eugene and Jonathan Coachman on pay-per-view. That was a real match. Can't wait to bust Bruce's balls about that. Oh, and how about in the coming weeks too, another Ask Bruce Anything. We had so many questions. We want to get more of those in. If you've got a question for Bruce, the best place to ask it is right now on this video, somethingtowrestle.com on YouTube. That's where we're soliciting for questions, and we'll hit you right here on Something to Wrestle. Tell your friends that Something to Wrestle, after all those years on Friday, is now a Monday show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell so you know when we've got a new show out. Bruce, I don't know what I'm looking forward to more, busting your balls about Eugene or doing Ask Bruce Anything. I know which one you're looking forward to, though.
What are you going to do to my balls again?
Bust them?
Why do you want to do that?
It's just fun. Just something to do, something to pass the time.
Okay.
By the way, if your business targets men 25 to 54 years old, no better place to advertise than right here on Something to Wrestle with Bruce Prichard. Find out how affordable it is at advertisewithbruce.com. Also want to remind you that we got some new merch and some new swag available for you at somethingtowrestleshirts.com. It's not just shirts. We got doot fanny packs and everything in between. Check it out at somethingtowrestleshirts.com. But one more time, if you've got a question about Bad Blood 04, or you've got a question that about any wrestling, or not even non-wrestling, maybe you want to talk to Bruce about his Hall of Fame karate black belt status, that you can do that. Somethingtowrestle.com. Bruce, you got a big trip coming up, don't you?
Yeehaw! Back to Scotland.
When was the last time you were there?
With you, right?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean,
Looking forward to it. Glasgow.
Coming your way, man.
Glasgow, can't wait.
Any final words for us today, Bruce?
Sometimes Jimmy Jam came along. Those were the best times. Now they're gone. Don't forget to go and check that out. Freebird Road on YouTube, because I want to get the numbers up just to drive Michael Hayes crazy.